Trimming. Trimming is trimming a video clip. Before we get into the actual process of trimming a clip, let's look at the anatomy of a clip. So let's click on this first clip, and we notice that it is highlighted, and on both ends of it we have two yellow handles. The beginning of the clip is referred to as the in point, and the end of a clip is referred to as the out point. These are two very important terms to learn as you progress in your video editing process. There's three other components. One is the actual video portion of the clip, which we see. And this particular clip is 23 seconds and 8 frames, and we have an audio portion of the clip. We can turn the audio portion on and off by a waveform, and the only reason we would do this is sometimes by turning off the waveform it actually improves the device's performance. So if you have a real fast computer, it's not going to make much difference, but if you have an older one, you may want to turn it off. Only turn it on when needed. Okay, so what do we do with this clip? So if we look in this clip, we notice the waveform. I'm going to bring it up a little bit so I can get a better look. And if I look at the beginning of the clip, there's some extra area that I don't particularly need. So we'll kind of move the clip, and here's the start. And what I'm able to do is, you notice that little piece I went through? Be careful where you click it. You want to be able to move it in and out. So in this particular case here, I would say I want this clip to start at this particular location, which I think is fine. And if I go down to the end, I could do the same thing on my out point. Grab it and I can move it in and out. In this particular case, I want it to end right here. It's kind of important for me to do that. So, in review, the beginning of the clip is the in point. On the end of the clip is an out point. By grabbing the yellow handles, make sure you grab it in the middle and move it in and out by either shortening or lengthening the clip. Now, one other thing is, when I click on this, I could drag this out all the way to the end. But I can't go any further here. This is the end of my clip. So the point I was trying to make is, don't forget there is a duration to your clip. So if you want to have some extra trimming room, always make your clip a little bigger than necessary, and you can always trim it down in the timeline. Now the next piece I want to be able to show you is that we can actually cut our clip up. So at this particular point, I can click on it, I can go to Actions, and I can use what they call the split function. This isn't probably the best example, but sometimes you want to be able to cut a clip up to get rid of a particular portion of it, or want to use it duplicate it and use it someplace else in your video. You can do that. So by moving the playback head exactly where you want to split it, click on the split button, and now you have two separate clips. So I go between the two. You're not going to see any change because they're the same clip. And I can undo that. So again, split allows me to cut the clip where the playback head is, so I can cut off excess on it if I don't need it. But as I mentioned earlier, a lot of times leave some extra room for your in point and your out point, so you have some room to move back and forth. Okay, now the next piece of editing is a little more precise, and it's called the precision editor. So if I move to in between my two clips, and this is where I want to change the out point of one clip to meet the in point of my new clip. Okay, so how do we do that? And this is unique in iMovie for the iPad. This function is not available in iMovie for the iPhone. So when I click on it and I click up the up and down arrows, now I notice that I have a different view. The top clip is my out point, and my bottom clip is my in point. And what I'm able to do is drag the yellow handle in and out to where I want that clip to start. So let's take a look. Let's see. I'm at this point and bingo, he's over there. You see how the arm movement kind of brings it in? Maybe I want to check it out a little more. Maybe there. Let me try. Yeah. So what I'm trying to do is get the two clips to meet each other. So let's close it back up again. And in this case, I'm going to turn off the transition so we can see the hard cut. One point to the next. You can see it's kind of a nice little motion. Now when I turn on my dissolve transition, and we'll go through transitions in another separate video, but in this case is a good example. I click on dissolve and I can move it in, and you can see it's a nice even movement. See?
Blend it or smash it, make it more
You may
like
have
make it
a different way of doing it.
and blend it or smash it, make it more like make it sweeter.
So, trimming. We can trim a clip. We can move the in point and the out point in and out. We can move it out as far as we have extra video. Don't forget the clip has a certain length. And by moving the in points in, it doesn't cut the video off. It just moves the in point to a new location. And then we can trim between clips, which is a more fine tuning. So we can take the out point of one clip and match the in point of the second clip. We use what we call the precision editor. Click at the transition button. We'll go none in this case. The down arrows, and now we can actually see the two clips. The top one is my out point, and we try to match it to the in point of my bottom clip. So that's trimming. It's something you're going to do over and over and over and over again. And as you move on to other versions of iMovie on the Mac and then go to Final Cut, you'll find out you'll even have finer control